Hello and welcome back to the MindSets podcast. Now, you might notice a couple of changes. First one, Charles, we're in a different location.
Looking good, doesn't it?
It is. Well, if you also might notice if you came from Charlie's channel that Charlie's not on screen right now, but he is here with us. How are you doing, Charlie?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you very much for coming back on because you were here, episode 37, I believe. It's been a while.
Yeah, 2 years, I want to say.
It has
maybe
been
a bit
nearly
more.
2 years. But, well, 2 years ago, I don't think we'd even met. How crazy is that?
That is wild.
For those of you that also haven't,
That is-
those of you that don't know as well, Charlie and I work quite closely together. I'm the guy that does his YouTube. So I follow him around with the camera normally. However, this time I've come the other side of it and I get to pester him on your guys' behalf. Charles, you weren't here with the last one.
I wasn't, no.
You've been excited about this for a while because you've got lots of questions for
The
Charlie.
MindSets podcast's a big fan of Charlie.
And Charlie, hopefully, Charlie's been writing in with a lot of things. We haven't exposed him on some of them, but today he can't hide behind the keyboard.
I cannot hide. And I must say, this is probably my favourite podcast.
There you go.
Well, not probably. It is my favourite podcast.
We
I
actually
listen
had
to
to
every
pay a lot.
episode.
I was going to say we had to pay a lot.
I've actually listened to every episode you've released, I think, since...
Really?
There we go. So if this is your first time listening, hit subscribe now. Go over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you normally listen to your podcasts. Follow, rate us 5 stars straight away, and then go back through all of those 80 episodes now.
See if you can find Charlie's original episode. Yeah.
You'll enjoy that a lot because this is before a lot has changed for him since then. So this episode, we're going to do a bit more of a run through of what has happened in those last 2 years, kind of catch up, maybe fill in some of the gaps that you may not have already known. And then we are going to do a part 2, which will be episode 81, where we actually get into the nitty gritty of Charlie's training, which we're very, very excited to do. However, the first thing we do on this podcast, Charlie, as you will recognize, is we do the news. So we will come to you at the end of the news if you have any other news updates that you know of in the sporting world. But we're going to try and do this in 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to bring my laptop up here for this because
There's
there's a lot to get through. Okay, are you going to set the timer?
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so first of all, we're going to ignore some big things that are going on in the world right now because they're very scary, but we're going to move straight into Brigid Kosgei set a new course record in the Tokyo Marathon with the victory at 2 hours, 14 minutes and 29 seconds. Pretty impressive. Another running feat. Do you want to go through this one?
You've got it in front of you.
Keely Hodgkinson, world record in the 800 meters indoors. She set a 1:54.87 seconds to smash a world record since the 3rd of March 2002, which is incidentally the day she was born. Up next, Six Nations is back this coming weekend. So there's been no changes since our last episode in scores or anything like that. Excited for that to come back. However, what I will say, because you're listening to this after the weekend has been that the Six Nations is back, is that France probably beat Scotland. Ireland probably beat Wales by a lot, and England probably narrowly beat Italy in an embarrassing fashion. Then also, since the last episode came out, the HYROX calendar has been announced. That's come out through a pretty cool release, but you guys know more about that than I do currently. CrossFit Open 26.2. That comes out later today for us because we're listening to it, but we're going to talk to Charlie about CrossFit 26.1 because he's actually done pretty well in that. The next thing in the CrossFit world is that Don Fowle is stepping down very imminently. And one more thing in the CrossFit world is there is a new competition on the cards. Xenom has come in. It seems to be some sort of HYROX take on CrossFit, but not for those people that are skinny and run fast like we all try to be. Final news is that KSI has bought Dagenham and Redbridge Football Club, like the whole club. He's now the owner, which is pretty full circle. I remember watching KSI when I was really young and he was doing race to Division 1, FIFA, trying to get his team into Division 1. Now he's doing it in real life, which is crazy. That was the news. How did I do?
1:45. That was spot on.
I'm actually quite impressed with that.
That was
I'll
good.
put
You
this back
started
down.
talking very quickly.
Charlie, I said I'd come back to you.
He's been
I
waiting to
think
do
that was the countdown.
Yeah.
The countdown noise.
Something was happening
Charlie,
over
have
there.
you got any other news that you are aware of in the sporting world?
News in the sporting world, I have no news. And
Straight back to me in the studio.
No, so we need to talk about the 26.1 just very quickly. So for anyone who doesn't know, my background's in CrossFit and I've been doing CrossFit this is my 9th CrossFit Open. So as I always do, I go on the leaderboard and I'm checking who's doing well in the UK. I'm going along as obviously the usual suspects. You got Harry Lightfoot at the top, Tom Kingdom, and then Michael Smith from Ireland. Number 4, are you still number 4?
I was number 3 or number 4 last time I tried.
Fine. When I looked, it was number 4 is our very own Charlie Botterill.
Our hybrid rock star in person. Well, first of all, I have to say, when I saw the workout, I was thinking, considering that CrossFit athletes typically don't like HYROX athletes, not like fist fight don't like, but like there's a bit of a barrier between the two of them. To have the first workout be very well suited to someone who's very well primed for HYROX.
So the way it usually works and has traditionally always gone in the open is the first workout is like much more accessible, and it's kind of like a marketing tool to get more people involved in it, because they look at it and go, there's no heavy barbell, there's no technical gymnastics. Oh, I give this a go and I'll pay $20 and sign up. And then the subsequent week is like heavy barbell, hard gymnastics, and they kind of stopped doing it from there. But last year as well, there was burpees, lunges, and hang clean and jerk, which is again fairly accessible. The year before was dumbbell snatch and burpee. So it was a very good HYROXy workout, as proven by Charlie's performance, right?
Yeah, so again, just for context, I can't remember exactly how many wall balls it was.
246.
246 wall balls, and then box step overs, sometimes with the ball, sometimes without the ball, in a time cap of 12 minutes. Do you know off the top of your head, either of you, how many people have finished the workout worldwide?
So few, but there's more women, or the women are producing faster times than the men. But I think it was something crazy like 11 women or 11 men or something had finished, which is like crazy to think, whereas usually in an open workout hundreds and hundreds of people are finishing it. So like it was a very tight time cap.
And the women thing will be because of
the slightly lower target,
the
and
faster ramp
the
speed
slightly lower box. But yeah, it's crazy.
So what's your review, Charlie, of the workout? How did you why did you do it for a start, and then how did you actually find it when you're going through it?
I did it on a very, very, very last minute decision.
Shocking.
I was there to help my friends like during the actual thing in our gym. And then one of my CrossFit friends, Dan, if you're watching, was like, oh, he's a hybrid rock star. He can't do the CrossFit Open. So I signed up, and then I did it.
Yeah. Because you train at a CrossFit affiliate?
Yeah, so I train at CrossFit Socks. And like I'd already trained a couple of times that day, and it was kind of just another bit of fun, really. Normally wall balls don't suit me. Normally I hate wall balls, but I have been practicing my wall balls. And I actually did them unbroken. So I did the 66 unbroken. I think I actually broke on the second 40, but that was more just because I carried the med ball like in a bear hug, and I was like, yeah, that wasn't
so you're struggling breathing rather than like leg fatigue. Yeah, interesting.
But no, I really enjoyed it. Like I thought it's one of those workouts that is just capacity. It's like complete raw capacity. But then seeing some of the women's times, and have you seen the video of Miriam von Rohr doing it?
Yeah. Because she'll go tonight again.
Didn't she have the box the long way round as well when she was doing the step overs? It wasn't just like,
I haven't seen her step overs.
Yeah, so she literally, you know how you have the rectangle one long way? She was doing it that way.
Oh, really?
Which, like, I don't know if that was an easier thing for her, but that's more impressive because like
it should take longer.
Exactly.
But maybe it slowed her down to a point where she could recover a bit more.
Maybe.
But I think she's going tonight against Amy Kringle and Lucy Campbell, which are the two best British girls for the 26.2 announcement. But assuming you're going to do 26.2 as well, TBC.
Depends, because I've got a HYROX race 4 days after. So if it's something that's going to give me a lot of DOMs, then
not worth it, right?
Yeah, then I've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, talking about all of these different options that you've now got in your fitness, last time we spoke, and I'm not going to spoil the last episode for those that did want to go back and listen to it, but last time we spoke, you're in a very different place in HYROX. From my recollection of the time and knowing you and talking to you about it, you were going to World Champs a few weeks after. You're going to Nice. And I don't know how many pro races you'd done at that point, but you were very much early on. You were very, very, I mean, you still are very eager, but you were very, very eager for HYROX, like discovering it all. You kind of knew where you wanted to go with it, but like you knew that at that particular instant, you probably weren't there. So do you want to talk us through really what happened in Nice and that following season? Because you, in that following season, went from not being too happy with your Nice result to suddenly you're now like, your name's out there.
Yeah. So, I mean, when we had that podcast, that was, I'll say in months, 21 months ago, I think.
Something like that.
And then at that time, I'd done 4 pro races and my PB was 1 hour and 2 minutes. Obviously Nice didn't quite go to plan. I wanted to try and like win the age group in my age group. And I won't say who, but there was a few sponsors that if I did do well would have signed me essentially. And then because I didn't do well, one of them kind of just pulled the rug out, which was quite frustrating. And that kind of would have been the catalyst for me to be able to maybe go full time the next year, just as like a young British guy. But say the way, like it didn't go to plan. I cramped up and I think I did a 1 hour 11 minutes or something like that.
Do you feel like you'd put more pressure on yourself for that race because of those potential sponsors?
Yeah, and like I won't say who, but some of the heads of those sponsors were at the race watching. But like it's one of those things, and I think it's kind of almost helped me now having something like fail that badly. That now I look back at it and I don't want something like that to happen again. So I did that, and then the next summer I kind of worked hard, worked on a few weaknesses, and then went into Birmingham in 2024, the end of 2024, and ran a 1 hour and 4 seconds in the men's pro. And ironically, I was 20 seconds behind Tim Veenish in that race, who later became the HYROX world champion that season. And that race was kind of a bit of like, I wanted to do better. I expected better of myself. And then the remainder of the year, I kind of just decided to race as much as possible. And I knew that I wasn't in the position fitness-wise to go and put out a standout result that's just like an amazing time. But I knew that I could, just from my background in cycling, I could go and race 4 times in a weekend and do well in all 4 of them. And that happened in Manchester in January of 2025, where I did all the doubles and then that relay as well. And then the following month, I ran my first sub 60 men's pro, which ironically was about a year ago this week.
I was going to say, you put a post up today for us recording where, yeah, you shared in it. What was the time on that?
So I ran 57:47.
Which is like a good chunk below 60 as well.
Huge chunk off, yeah.
The only thing I can compare this to, and I said this to someone recently, when I first bench pressed 100 kilos, I was able to do 95 kilos for 7 reps, but was unable to do 100 for 1. And then as soon as like it happened, suddenly I could do 100 for 5. And I wonder if it was like the similar sort of mentality thing of like crossing that bridge from being not being a sub 60 athlete to being a sub 60 athlete. Was that more mental, do you think, than physical?
Yeah, and I think it's, once you know what works, you can just rinse and repeat. And since then, I've just rinsed and repeated what I've done, and it's working. And hopefully, well, we're recording this the week and 2 weeks before. Hopefully it kind of goes even better in Glasgow and London.
Because similar sort of time, I remember you and your doubles partner, Ollie Russell, he also started going sub-hour sort of times in his solos. And then you guys decided, we're going to take on this last chance qualifier as a pro doubles pairing, which was also in London, so coming up to a year ago. There were a few big names in that race. Did you know that you were going to be in the same wave as the other big names and that you were going to be contenders straight away? Or did you kind of just keep yourself to the sideline mentally before going into that?
The goal and ambition there was always to qualify. I didn't expect that. At no point did we really think we would win it. We did think it would kind of be a fight for that 3rd spot. Just with like Hilly and Thierry being there, obviously Jake and Alan, and then a few French pairings, a few British pairings. Like there was a lot of strong pairs there. And then, yeah, literally
it came down to like wall balls, didn't it?
Oh yeah,
literally like a couple of reps.
Oh yeah,
or 1 rep.
I think there was 7 or 8 seconds between 1st place and 4th place.
Mental, yeah.
And yeah, like I remember being at those wall balls, and I took the ball at 80. I looked to my left, they were on 80. I looked to my right, they were on 80, and it was literally just
who could
hold their nerve. And the other 2 pairs both got no reps in like the 95s, 96s. And that ended up being the difference. And it was literally just who could hold their nerve. So
good.
What was really difficult for me about that situation, so obviously I've been friends with Charlie, as we've said, since just before a couple of months before that first ever podcast. So when it was you finally getting to this moment and like seeing you officially becoming an Elite 15 athlete you wanted, that was like huge. But I was in the start pen.
I remember this so
racing,
well.
Yeah, so Charles is business partner for HYROX training, so they do HYROX coaching, very good at it. Hugh, I was racing with Hugh because you were injured. And so I'd seen you come into the wall balls. And I was like,
he's like peeking through the curtains.
I was peeking through the curtain at the back, knowing, like you've said recently to someone, about the chip time being when you start. So like everyone else had gone. And I was just saying, Hugh, I'm not leaving until like I know who's won. And I could just see the wall ball counters and them all matching up, and then just like focusing in and realizing you being in the middle of the top three, like this is it, like it's happening. I saw you cross the line, and then Hugh basically grabbed my arm and off we went.
Yeah.
And like I had no other context to what was going on, and like, I couldn't come over and say anything, but we just hit the dance floor ourselves. But must have been an unreal moment. Did you have that sort of realization of like, I've done it? Because like your face as you crossed the line, you were very happy, but like did it hit home straight away?
Oh yeah, and I think it's like when you work hard, like really hard for something, and you start to see it sort of slowly taking shape, you kind of realize like, oh, all the stuff I've done in the past 3 years has kind of worked towards this, and then this will work to whatever I've got coming up in the next 3 years. So yeah, like I was like over the moon. I don't think there's many like ways to describe it. It was just like a pretty surreal feeling, and it was great having my dad was there, loads of my friends were there, and it was great seeing them afterwards and just taking it all in. And then obviously we did the relay later in the day, which was absolutely brutal, which I'll probably never do again. After having such a dopamine high, and then you're just dead on the start line for the relay. But no,
I was also
great.
in that relay.
Yeah.
And I'd never done sled push in a relay before. I could not have managed that worse. It was awful. And what was really painful was me and my friends were hoping that we would keep up with you for the most part. And like out the back of the sled push, arguably my fault, you were gone. Absolutely gone.
The sled push, I did the sled push in the relay at World Champs, and doing an all-out K into a pro sled push is
Brutal.
absolutely horrific. And then having to sprint that last 50 meters was even worse. Like my calves were in absolute agony.
You're just like hobbling along.
So, I mean, Charlie, you've got a future in podcasting, because that's a really nice segue into the next thing. So, World Champs, Chicago, your main focus was to go and race with Ollie. And then all of a sudden, watching the men's solo race, Jake Dearden pulls up. Injuries not looking too great. And he's the was it Team England? Were we Team England? Or Team England. He was Team England captain. Now, I also know that you were hoping you might get a chance with Team Scotland, because you've got, I mean, kind of like I do, you've got some Scottish in you. So there was the opportunity there, but then Jake, did he just shoot you a text message?
Yeah. I think because I've done a lot of relays, and I've done quite well in the relays. And yeah, just shot me a text message on the Friday morning, I think it was. The race was in the Friday evening. And I was like, it's a good opener session.
You always like a run out.
And yeah, and like Till mentioned on the live stream, that if someone gives me an opportunity to race, I will race. And before then, I never represented any country like in an elite race. And I see it like in football, where once you've represented a country, that's like you've made your decision. So I've now kind of stuck myself with England, which I'm quite happy with at the moment, because I think with the new ranking system, I'm now England team captain for this year as it stands, which is quite a funny.
I can't wait to race in the Elite 15 relay.
You reckon you dropped us in?
Appreciate it.
I love where your thought process was going on that.
Which is quite funny. I think it's either me or Lucy Proctor at the moment, which could obviously change. It's like 4 months away till World Champs. But yeah, like I went in, I did the relay.
Sorry, did you know you were, like, was the text message, Charlie, do you want to do the relay? You're doing these 2 stations. Or was it like a discussion a little bit?
It was like, do you want to do the relay? You'll be doing the 2 stations I was meant to do. Because normally I'm on the ski and the row in the relays.
That's what I thought, yeah.
I got the row at least. But yeah, I did the sled push, and thankfully I got in before Team New Zealand because HYROX only put out one pro men's sled.
Yes, they have
And
to
there
wait
was-
for you to finish.
Yeah.
That's
And
It's honestly mental, isn't it?
well, I remember pushing it back on the second length and seeing him stood there, and I was like, why on earth you stood there? And then I clocked, oh wait, there's no other pro sleds. But yeah, that was really fun. I really enjoyed that, and it was quite cool being in the lead of that race as well. So yeah, I enjoyed that.
Cool. And then, I mean, next day, wake up, back out on the course with Ollie this time. Talk me through that. I mean, you've spoken a little bit before on your YouTube, but yeah, how did that sort of go for you? And as a doubles, how did you think it went?
It didn't go anywhere near as well as I'd hoped, or as well as Ollie had hoped. And it was a very similar situation to Nice. I've not really spoken about it, but obviously now I'm with Nike. Nike were very, very, like, my performance in the solos is what they were cared about more. And the fact that I wasn't doing the solos at the age groups and world champs could have been a bit of an issue. And then I was a bit worried after we didn't really place too well in the elite doubles race that maybe I'd kind of spawn that opportunity. Thankfully, I didn't.
He's wearing it.
Yeah, shout out.
But yeah, like that race was kind of, you really could tell how good the best guys in the world are in that race. And some of the running times that were being put out were just absolutely nuts. And I think it was just kind of a bit of a, not a wake up call, but like I really need to just push on and spend the next 4 months over summer just like working away and just not necessarily pulling the carrot too many times, as I like to say, in training, but then really when it counts in races, make a statement and work hard.
I feel like off the back of that, and this could be completely wrong, but having followed you on social media, it was after that where it's like I definitely felt like there was an increase in maybe volume or maybe just the amount you were sharing, but like you definitely like buckled down and just like put your head in the sand and was like, I'm going to do more of this, more of this, more of this, and I'm just going to become the fittest I can possibly be. Is that kind of a shift in your training, do you reckon?
Yeah, so after World Champs, I was like, it's now or never. And if I want to do well at this, I have to kind of go completely all in. So I saved up money for a few years and I was like, I've got enough money here for 6 months. I can train full time. And if I run out of money before I get sponsors, looks like I'm going back to work full time. So I left my job after that. Which they completely understood, and I still train at that gym every single day. And yeah, so I went full time in the summer. Obviously I could focus a bit more on volume and increasing that, and then focus more on recovery. And over the 4-month period, I just got fitter. And once if you continue to stack bricks, eventually you'll build a wall. And I just built a wall high enough where I can now compete with the top guys.
And at that point, had you already been like, look, I want to be Elite 15? You'd already made that decision to go like, I know I can compete with these top guys. I just need to do the work.
Oh yeah,
Or like how early had you like consciously had that conversation with yourself? Was it before World Champs in Chicago? Was it like earlier, like closer to Nice time? You're like, I can be one of the best here.
in all honesty, and I've been like this my whole life. If I know that if I put my mind to something, I can be the best in the world at it. And I know that fortunately, just from all the sports I've done, genetically, I'm well off. Like I'm in a good position genetically where I am good naturally at endurance sports. And I knew that when I started this, I could become an Elite 15 athlete and I could be one of the best in the world. And that's, I ran my first race and I ran a 1 hour, 11 minute open. And I knew from that point, like if I do everything in my power over the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, however long it takes, years, I could be one of the best in the world. And the first 3 years, you didn't see like any of that potential. I was kind of just the kid who raced a lot. But all of that kind of compounds, and like they say, overnight success takes 10 years. And then once I'd kind of accumulated all that specific volume and learned my body, I then could go and achieve what I've done so far and hopefully what I'm going to do in the future. But yeah, to answer the question, like
it's been from like day one where you're like,
yeah,
I can be. It's such like a fast, and we talk about mindset on the podcast all the time. And like, I always say it, to be the best, you honestly, it's like so much self-belief. And it's really cool to actually hear that. And you reference like your first ever race. Go back to Charlie's YouTube, because there's footage. I think it's your first video, whether you put that together.
He gave me the footage, I put it in.
There's like footage of your first ever HYROX race, which is really cool and probably awesome for you to be able to like look back and go, yeah, I went in the wrong station at the wrong time. And like everyone makes that silly mistake on their first race, but it's awesome to see.
One of the things that I think is like a little insider knowledge that I don't think it came up on your YouTube yet, but in the sort of shift after World Champs where you were just like locked in on your training, Represent put on their first like ultra 24/7 on the 24th of July event, and it was kind of like a backyard ultra. Every hour on the hour for 12 hours you had to run 5.1 kilometers, so not miles like a normal backyard ultra, but it was still trails just outside of Manchester. But then in the remaining time, and you're in teams of 5, you had to ski erg as far as you could, and you got points for every 250 meters, and you got points for every person in your team that completed the 5k loop. Now very early on, I remember I was invited like 48 hours to go to join a team, and I rocked up, and I've got Charlie there, I've also got Sean Noble, and there's just other massive Ollie Marchon was there, just big names in fitness that have rocked up, and I'm like, wow, I'm out of my depth. But I reckon I'm going to be all right in the ski erg. It's the running that could be the problem. And from my experience, what I saw was you went off real hard, and so did a bunch of other people that I knew there. And I was like, I'm just going to take this easy because I didn't know about this until like a week ago. Then, the smallest flex I'm going to have on this whole podcast, I overtook Charlie on like lap 5, and you were not looking very happy at that point.
Oh, I think I chundered 5 or 6 times on that lap.
What had happened?
I know that fueling is vital for a 12-hour race. I overfueled, and oh my word, I paid for it. I think lap 5 took me like 37 minutes.
So bear in mind, like we're 25k in, Charlie is more than fit enough to run 25k. The thing that people weren't accounting for, because there were a lot of experienced fuelers and athletes there, no one was really accounting for the fact that you do this 5k pretty hard, and then you come in, and rather than like in a normal backyard ultra having time to recover, you're now doing your bit on the ski erg, which those of you should be very familiar with the fact that it's an up and down movement. If you've just put food and drink in you, and then you're doing that as hard and fast as you can, as a lot of teams were, there's a high chance that's going to come back up. So when people started being sick, and you were not the only one, I can't say I was that surprised by it.
And like, to put that into perspective, you like, did I read like your last 2 5Ks of the ultra were both sub 20?
He came back on like the maddest resurgence.
Yeah, so I did, hour 10 was 18:30 something, hour 11 was 18:20 something, and hour 12 was 18:10 something.
And what was the total kilometers? 60 something? It must have been 60k.
It was 60 and change.
Perfect.
Yeah. So like ultra marathon distance in, running 3-5 kilometers faster than I've ever run them in trails.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. And also, actually, no, let's talk about the wildest thing. On the last one, so you came in what was it, 18 something?
Yeah.
So you came in at 18 something. Before the second person came in, how far had you got on the ski erg?
Second on my team, or second just in general?
Second in general.
I think over a K.
That's insane. Can you imagine?
No. I remember going. So ironically, that Rivington event, without bringing Nike up again, but Nike, here's free advertisement. Like after that, they kind of kicked things on. So that was like a really important thing for me. But I remember at hour 9 being like, I think it was Malia, one of the girl on our team, talking to her, and I was like, I feel really good. I'm going to be back in a second. And I went to my car and I got out a box fresh pair of Vaporflies. So everyone's there in like caked trail shoes.
That's so
and
good.
you see me just get a white pair of Vaporflies out, box fresh, and put them on. And everyone's like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
And then
The sponsor's dream.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
here.
literally, yeah.
I remember like Ollie Marchand speaking to me, and he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm going quick. Because I worked out, like, if we were in like 7th or 8th place at the time. If we want a podium, I'm just going to have to bin myself on the runs and just get as much distance. So I told like Ben, who was Ben and Joey, like the 2 leaders on the Roxfit team, right, I'm going to go out hard, and then I need one person to like go out like moderately hard so that they can give me a break on the ski. And then the other 3 can kind of pootle in and then work really hard for that last 20 minutes on the ski erg. So then I can recover for 20 minutes without skiing to then go really hard on the next 5K. And it worked. So like Malia did a couple really hard ones, and then Dan did one as well.
And
so
you finished where? 2nd or 3rd?
we came 3rd in the end.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
we went into the last run in 5th place,
It's mental.
but we were only like 8 points behind.
I don't know if it's because I knew pretty much all of you guys on that team, but you were definitely the people's champions with the way that the race was handled. Because like also they were so chill. Top 2 were like locked in head to head down the other end of the ski ergs.
Okay, fine.
And like Team Roxfit were on their own, like having a good time, chilling in their chairs and just like talking to everybody.
And I think at the start of the day, like we would have been happy with like top 10, because like there was some really, really strong teams there, and loads of teams were giving it the big and like, oh yeah, we're gonna win this. And it was just cool, the fact that we all kind of, at some point, all of us were in an absolute pit and we all just helped each other. Yeah, so it makes it even better when you're doing it with your mates, and when like.
But I feel like that's your almost like your attitude going into your HYROX as well. Like obviously watching you race at the elite level now, you look locked in and you look concentrated and focused when you're actually racing. But the other times I see you around venues, whether it's in races at the UK, it's just like always happy to be there, always happy to chat to people who are like interested in you. And it's like never really necessarily taking yourself too seriously until it's game time. And I think that's something that's like such an advocate for the sport. And I think you do that very, very well.
All right, thank you. And yeah, like I'll always, if I'm at a venue, I'll always make an effort to talk to people or to just hang around and just watch other people. Because I know from when I was just a newbie beginner person, and I was seeing like the elite guys racing, and if I spoke to one of them, I was like, oh, this is cool, I'm talking to an elite guy. And now it's kind of gone full circle.
Yeah.
And I remember that now when I talk to people, or when like people message me, it's exactly how I felt 3 years ago. So that kind of just makes it sweeter. So I'll always do that when I can and just hang around.
To kind of complete the catch up on where you are today in like a top level view, obviously we said in the next episode we'll go more into the nitty gritty of your training and ask some very specific questions, but I think at this point, unless you live under a rock, everyone knows that you did pretty well in Melbourne, and there was a lead up to that. But then between Melbourne and Phoenix, you had Christmas, you had all sorts of other things going on. You won Manchester, but like talk to us a little bit about Melbourne versus now, like where you've gone through that journey. Because I mean, not that you weren't already known, but like suddenly everyone knew who you were, and like there was probably a lot more pressure, and you probably also ecstatic, which I know when I do better in something than I expect to do, sometimes I'm almost demotivated from training because I'm no longer chasing a carrot in that sense. So what did that whole thing look like from your side?
Obviously, in kind of that October was like the most nuts month of my life. Like I did seven races that month. And obviously there was a lot of buzz around that. Like I'd won in Poland, I won in Valencia, I came 3rd in Birmingham, and like I'd qualified into the Elite 15. But then it came to Melbourne, and a lot of people were kind of like, they didn't expect me to qualify. I didn't expect me to qualify. I thought it was pretty cemented it was going to be Hunter, Tim, and JK. Obviously, Hunter and Tim were just on another level that day. But going into Melbourne, I was confident. Like, I ran in Madrid the week before, or 2 weeks before, and I did the men's open in the morning and then the men's pro in the evening. And both of them, I wanted to do it like 80% effort. And for me, like, having to hold back in a race was the most frustrating experience of my life. Especially knowing that I could have gone and I won the men's open, but then I could have gone and won the men's pro. But I knew that if I'd have gone full beans, it would have compromised me going into Melbourne. So I knew that my shape was in contention for a top 5. I didn't expect it to be a top 3. But then in terms of pacing the race, I don't think I could have done it any better. Like, I came out of the burpees in 9th, but I came out of the burpees ready to kick on. And then it's so much easier mentally for me when you're picking people off rather than you're worrying about people behind you picking you off. And then obviously coming into the wall balls in 4th, I didn't really expect to move up from there. And then obviously what happened, and I just kind of like, still feels like a bit of a blur. But after that, it kind of motivated me even more to work harder and train harder and recover harder and just fix loads of things. And then I had quite a few, like in and around Christmas up until Manchester, I had quite a few health issues, which kind of came to light. And I'm still kind of working through them now. So I wasn't able to run outdoors for 6 weeks. And now, after having several blood tests and whatnot, like, my iron's very low and I've got very low testosterone. So I need to kind of, obviously I'm not going to have testosterone because that's illegal, but I need to kind of work on improving that. And my iron levels now compared to 4 weeks ago in Phoenix are 9-day difference. And I can feel it in training and in performance. I've gone on a bit of a tangent there. But yeah, then obviously Manchester happened. That went really well. Like, I didn't really taper in for it, but it was the second fastest time I've ever run on a course that was supposedly very slow. But then on the flight out to Phoenix, I got very ill from a guy who coughed and spluttered everywhere. So
it's the worst thing about flying, isn't it? You're just like trapped in there.
And I had to turn to him and I was like, can you at least like cover your mouth? Because it was just no effort like to at least be hygienic.
You need to get like a private jet sponsor, I reckon.
Yeah, and if you want to sponsor us at the same time, cheers.
Yeah, Charlie's looking to fly private now.
So yeah, obviously, like, I wasn't going to go into the race saying, oh, I feel rubbish, I'm going to fail. Because I think the more you talk about that in public, the more you're actually just going to self-sabotage yourself into just, yeah. And then you've got something to fall back on. Oh, I'm going into it ill. So I tried keeping it a bit, well, I just didn't say I'm ill, but then in a few of the interviews before the race, you can hear my voice is just like completely gone. But yeah, that didn't go to plan. And then a couple of days later, I raced the doubles with Jake Deard, and it was a bit of fun. And I felt a lot better then. And we ran quite a quick time. But no, after that, I came home, I recovered, rested, and I've had a really good 4-week block building up to Glasgow and London. And then after London, I think I'm probably not going to race again. I might race in Warsaw if I get an elite spot, but then it will be a case of 10-week block to world champs.
I mean, off the back of that, I've got so many questions. But the first one, if we like rewind to Melbourne, something that I'm really interested in, and I think there's like a potential switch from when you start doing HYROX to maybe when you become a little bit more competitive in HYROX about pacing strategy. But when you were in that elite race, and you said it on your YouTube as well, it's like you've come out of the burpees, was it 9th, did you say? Something like that? Or you went in an 8th and then came out 9th, but you felt good and you saw the people around you start to tail off a little bit. How much of your racing in an elite race is based around a pre-race strategy and pacing, and how much of it is, I just need to race what's in front of me? I'm no longer racing the clock, I'm racing the guys here. how much of it is like, is there a point in the race where you go, I'm going to pace up until here, and then I'm just going to pull the pin based off how I feel? Or what's your approach when you go into a race like that?
So Melbourne specifically, I knew that the only thing I needed was that third place. Like there was no time, no anything, just that third position. And I knew that there was going to be a lot of pressure from the get-go from Tim and Hunter, and they were going to go out really hot, and the majority of the field getting caught up in the whole experience, we're going to try and follow them. And I think it's very telling that the two guys that were at the back of the field were John Wynn and Bo Wills, who are two of the most experienced guys, and they know don't go out too hot, don't get sucked into it. And that's what I knew I needed to do. I knew that I'm not going to let them get too much of a lead, or at least I'm not going to let third place get too much of a lead, because
it's kind of like a disconcerting place to be, because you're like, it's such a mature decision to be able to make, but it's like almost scary that you're like letting them go.
Yeah.
But you're like, I need to just, they can do their thing, and I'm just going to sit and wait.
Yeah, and like I think if you take the burpees out to the finish line, I was the fastest guy. I beat Hunter and Tim from the burpees out to the finish line. And now I know that I can finish strong, and my wall balls are much better now. Project Sub 4, if you've watched my latest YouTube video. My wall balls are a lot better now, and now I just need to, at World Champs, be willing to risk it to win it. I don't need to play it safe. I just need to be able to follow Alex, Tim, and Hunter.
So a question that I've got is, historically, Hunter obviously been very successful in the sport. He's always gone pretty quick. He's known for being one of the fastest skiers in general in the sport, and sort of trying to hold sub 140s, that kind of thing. And then you've got Tim, who, especially in the last couple of years, has gone off quick on the runs. And then Alex also comes out of the gate like absolutely stomping around. Do you think over the next few months you might toy with some different strategies? Because, you know, I mean, you kind of know where your fitness is at, you're feeling good. The next big thing for you, having already qualified for Stockholm, is Stockholm, as much as there are other races on the way. Do you think you're going to try and use those as opportunities to try different things out? Or are you basically going to lock down on what you think your best strategy is and just practice the hell out of it?
In certain races, I will risk going out harder. And in certain races, I'll actually try going out easier, and then really trying to kick in the middle of the race, like at the pull, the burpees, the row, and then seeing where I end up at the end. But there's a whole thing in, like, if you look at any elite endurance sport, like cycling, running, triathlon, there's the whole phrase of once the elastic snaps, and it's a very tough position being with someone like on that first run on the ski, and then they pull away. And I think at Worlds I'm going to have to be comfortable with that maybe happening, and then me coming back later in the race, because I know that Tim, Hunter, they're going to pull a much stronger, and even Alex as well, and probably Hiddy, to everyone, are going to pull like a sub 140 ski. At least two of them will probably pull that split, and I'm not going to do that. No matter how fit I get in the next 4 months, I'm not going to go out that hot. So I'm just need to mentally be comfortable with allowing them to get that gap. I think that's answered the question.
Yeah,
I think went on a bit of a tangent.
I'm conscious of time, but I'm going to ask another question, because this is something that I picked up from your YouTube, and it was going into this year's season, and you kind of like, you spoke about, you had a period, I think it was in the summer, where you basically did no HYROX specific training. It was a lot of strength work. You did a lot of running and then a load of biking, which I think everyone saw on your social media. And then you raced like the hybrid games or something in Newcastle, maybe eye opener, and we're like, I actually do need to do some HYROX specific. But was your first race Gdansk? Is that right?
First solo race with Gdansk.
But you say on that, you're like, I'm going into that really confident. I know I'm going to be good. How much do you like attribute your performance to a mental attitude over like a physical? Obviously we know physical is going to play a part, but do you reckon your mental, and you mentioned it in Phoenix as well, you're like, I didn't want people to know that I was like ill because I want to mentally just be strong, see what I do. Like, how much do you attribute your performance to being mentally tough?
I think it's as important once you get to the elite level as like it is physical. And over the past, I'd say 9 months, I've kind of really extrinsically, like, being extrinsically motivated in a good sense. And when I'm racing, like, I know that there's so many people that would love to be doing what I'm doing, and the least I can do is give 100% in that moment. Because if, like, I'm not a celebrity, I'm not big, but I've got a lot of people who I now inspire, and if they see me giving up in a race, that's not good for anyone. And there's people out there who might not be able to walk, they might like not be able to financially do this. And I think for me, that's been the biggest thing more than my training, is now when it gets really hard and it really hurts, I know that there's people out there who would love to be choosing to be in that pain, because there's a lot of people who are in pain and can't choose it. And the least I can do is keep on going. And I think
not
that's,
take it for granted, right?
Yeah.
Which is like such a wholesome way of looking at it. Yeah.
So mature
Yeah.
and like just so almost like PR trained, but like just thinking logically, honestly, like that's a lot of what it is.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I think it might have been James Kelly who said it, like, you're going to cross that line and in 2 minutes, you're going to be okay.
Literally.
And it's like, the guy and girl who wins is going to be the one who can endure the pain, because HYROX is now at that level where physically a lot of people are going to be very similarly stacked, and it's who has that mental edge where they can just hurt. And Hunter McIntyre is, in HYROX, has been kind of the biggest guy when it comes to that.
Yeah, notoriously good at it.
If you see his face in some of the races, you can tell he is in a world of pain, and he's still got 20 minutes to go.
And he's just like fine with that.
Yeah. And it's being comfortable in discomfort that kind of separates the great athletes from the greatest athletes. And I think that's the same in every sport. If you look at the best marathon runners, they can just dig. And even if you look at the best ultra marathon runners, like at the Barkley Marathons, Paris, what's her, I can't remember her surname, but the girl who, like, she was hurting from like so early in that race, but she kept on going. And I think that's what separates the best athletes from the greatest athletes.
Surely I plug Endure by Alex Hutchinson at this point.
Again, go for it. It's a great book.
The greatest book if you want to learn about the relationship between like your psyche and your physiological. But yeah, Endure by Alex Hutchinson. That's all I need to say on it.
You've kind of pulled us away from the conversation, so I'm going to use the fact that you've pulled us away.
Sorry.
So what we normally do actually earlier on in the episodes, but we're going to come back to, is grind my gears. This is a totally different direction to what we were just on, but for those of you listening, this might be your favorite part of the podcast. Grind my gears is where
That's my favorite part.
There we go. It's where we take suggestions from you guys. So if you've got one burning, please just message the podcast page. But basically, we just let loose on all the things that have been annoying us recently, particularly if they're in the fitness space. Charlie, I don't know if you've got any burning or if you want me to start off with some of the submissions we've got.
You start.
Okay, cool. We'll let you weigh in, and we will promise to edit anything out that might get you cancelled. The first one that we have got is something that I'm going to jump on top of. We've had Roscoe, who's been a previous guest and we've done some podcasts with. He messaged in to say people that are on like out in public and are like FaceTiming or speakerphoning without headphones. And I'm going to layer on top of that, just in general, using your phone. Like if you're watching TikToks or something on loud in public, what are we doing?
What are you doing?
People that have their phone on loud so that everyone in the entire postcode can understand that they have got a text message. It's like I'm on Love Island. Like they might as well just put their hand up and go, I've got a text. I've got a text. Everyone comes over and looks at their phone. Can we just have some like common decency?
Yeah, no, that stresses me out enough.
Not a fan of it at all.
No, I agree with that one. Like,
everyone's got headphones.
I was in the quiet carriage on the way here. And
that's criminal if you're in the quiet carriage and they're doing it.
There was a little man on his phone calling another little man. And I was like, I'm socially awkward. I can never go up to someone and say, please, can you turn that down? And I was like, this is a quiet carriage and you're calling your phone out loud. I don't need to hear about your business calls. Yes, you're in a suit. Yes, you probably make millions of pounds. This is a quiet carriage. Some people are trying to
spend the millions of pounds on headphones,
Yeah.
or a first class ticket.
But maybe they just want people to know that they're important. But you're in a quiet carriage for a reason. I hate that.
The next one I've got, we're going to actually roll back to CrossFit 26.1. Adam messaged in saying the wall ball standards and judging this year has been atrocious. I think that's also a HYROX prevalent problem, but he was just complaining. I don't know if we need to necessarily weigh on it because it's a hard thing to judge.
We might go down a rabbit hole if we do as well. I'll be careful what I say.
Okay, go on. Do you want to weigh on it?
No.
Or are you just going to avoid? Okay, we'll just avoid. The next one that I've got is a similar note from they want to remain anonymous.
Careful.
CrossFit 26.1 being unfinishable.
But it wasn't.
It was, but for like the majority, it was.
Yeah, but
We're sat with an elite athlete.
It's not
that couldn't finish it.
impossible, but for the person who's probably complaining about it, it was impossible. Do you know what I mean? If 50% of the professional athlete contingency that got invited to do the 26.1 announcement, 50% of them didn't finish, I can understand why you're annoyed at it. But you've got to program for the best, and then whatever happens, happens.
This leads me on to one of my grind ideas.
Yes, come on, let's have it.
The fact that he's pointing at me is really worrying.
Yeah.
No, because you make a very good point.
Oh, cool.
And anonymous person, I'm sure you're lovely, but it's called a competition for a reason, because you're competing. And one thing that is annoying me is people complaining, and this might just be me, but people complaining that a competition is too hard or that a competition is too competitive. Like, for instance, HYROX, because I am
On topic.
Yeah. Keep
I
on.
am a HYROX athlete. Like, people complaining that, like, if you do a men's pro race, and like now with the new system, that there's loads of elite guys doing the men's pro races. Oh, like, I can't get on the podium now. And it's like, well,
The solution is to get better.
yeah, and it's like, and I know HYROX is a sport for everyone, and I don't want to get cancelled, but it's like, it's not just in HYROX. It's like in marathons now. Like, you're competing against everyone, and a lot of people don't like the fact that they can't be at the top, or not. They can't be at the top, but people. Like, a lot of people struggle to remember that a competition is a competition and everyone is there to win, and everyone there wants to win or do well or win in however they see winning. I've kind of gone on a bit of a
This
rabbit hole
is
there.
similar to like the 75 hard. I don't know if you're going to say that. It's like people complaining that 75 hard is too
Oh,
hard.
yeah, we did touch on that. No, I was going to bring up, we already spoke about the Barkley Marathon, but the Barkley Marathon, notoriously in its design, and I can't remember the guy who like runs it and designs it, cool guy. Every time it gets finished, it gets harder. So in 2025, which we were just talking about, when 5 people finished it, he made it harder. 2026, no one finished it. So like, is that competition too hard, or has everyone just got to get better?
Yeah, and it's like that is the beauty and essence of competing. It's meant to be hard.
And push you to get better as a result, right?
And if you never get to the top or you never finish it, just knowing that you did everything in your power to potentially get to the top or to potentially finish it is enough. Like, I want to be the HYROX world champion. I want to be the HYROX world champion 5 times. I might never step on the podium at world champs, but I'm gonna do everything in my power there. And if I don't make it, I'll be happy knowing that I gave everything. And I think that is the beauty of competition.
But it's also like, you want to do it beating the others at their best as well. It's like, you don't just want to have like a go and walk through, you can win. It's like, I want to earn it kind of thing. And that's kind of like what you're complaining about. It's too hard. Just get better.
Yeah. I've got 2 more written in. The first one is political. We won't stand on it for too long. But level 1 personal trainers in Dubai giving World War III advice. That one came from Harry, who used to be in the military himself.
I think that's valid.
That's
valid
quite
from
funny.
him.
That is quite funny. The next one is This one came from Eleanor. It's not fitness related, but I rate it, so I've included it. Thank you, Eleanor, for the submission. Pancake Day was recently.
One of the best days in the world.
One of the best days in the world.
If you like pancakes.
Do you not like pancakes?
No.
You're a grandma git.
Well, no, I like pancakes. I don't like crepes.
Ooh, controversial. Still a grandma git.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't touch on that.
I'm not removing that from the podcast, though. People need to know that about you.
Yeah, for sure.
I got food poisoning from crepes and I can never look at them the same.
I'm going to make you some crepes.
He won't eat them.
The last one is that every year when Pancake Day comes around, they sell pancake frying pans in the supermarkets, and every year, 2 days after Pancake Day, you just see them outside the front of people's house to go in the bin, and it's so wasteful.
I can't say I've seen that.
Have you not?
No.
They're like the tiny little skinny ones for making crepes, and they're like non-stick pans. They work once basically, and they're like £1.99.
I thought you were going to say the marketing strategy. It's just a frying pan.
I mean, it is, but like,
why are you selling it as a pancake?
It's literally a one-use frying pan, and it has pissed Eleanor off, and I actually kind of vibe with it.
I don't like the waste. Yeah, I just haven't seen it.
It's like there was a meme or a meme video that went quite viral that was lemon juice, and it's like a guy pulls out the lemon juice from the cupboard. Oh, it's out of date. Pops to the shops and gets some more for the pancakes.
Yeah.
Next year.
It's out of date.
It's out of date. Pops
Yeah,
the
I
shop.
saw that.
And then doesn't he like move, and the next person moves in and they find it.
The lemon juice, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
should probably pop to the shop now.
I thought that got really deep, didn't it? That whole
Yeah, because it's like his whole family.
cheating on his wife
Yeah,
or
and then
something.
like someone died. And
yeah,
it's
that
like,
was wild.
It was a story.
Yeah,
I
it
was
was a
actually
story.
quite locked into that.
It was emotional.
It was a masterpiece. You've been quiet. Have you got any grandma gits?
I do have one. Do you know when, I don't know if this is going to upset a lot of people training, and they're like training hard, and then they'll post about it on their Instagram, and they'll say like some caption, "in the trenches," and I'm like,
oh yeah, or like going to war with myself.
God, that's a bit close to home at the moment, if I'm being honest.
yeah, but the old "in the trenches."
Yeah, I don't think
come
I
on.
hate that phrase.
Yeah, I'm not vibing with that
No,
phrase.
you weren't in the trenches. You were in a pure gym,
Right.
close to a ski erg. I think that's probably what it was.
That one's tough.
Well, the next part of the podcast, which people typically seem to enjoy, is we do a game section at the end. And I have been telling Charlie that he's going to love this. A few episodes ago, if you haven't listened, we mentioned that we were going to do a Price is Right game, where basically I'm going to start reading out certain pieces of sports equipment, and these guys, so Charlie and Charles, are going to go head to head to see who can get closest.
That could be a segment, Charlie versus Charles,
Charlie versus Charles.
Charlie versus Charles.
as long as it's not fitness related.
Okay, so I'm going to each give you a piece of sporting equipment, and I need you both to quickly guess what you think the price of that is. Right? If you're listening to this or you're watching it, play along at home. See if you can do better than those guys. And if you do, then put it down in the comments once you've subscribed.
I assume we're going in pounds.
We are going in pounds. I've actually gone through the effort of converting everything for you both.
Nice.
So we're going to start off. Like I said, we've got to keep this relatively quick because I think I've got like 12 to get through.
Perfect.
I will tell you the answer as soon as you have both responded. You can respond in whatever order you want.
Okay.
Or do you want me to force you to take it in turn so there's no advantage?
Maybe that's a better way of doing
you're
it.
Gonna, Charlie, you're going to go first because you're the guest. Okay, so the first one...
I don't know if that's helpful.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
I don't think
The first one that we have got is an official Olympic curling stone.
Which are all made on the same island.
They
in
are by the
Scotland.
same company, K's.
This guy already knows.
Yeah, he came prepared.
An official Olympic standard curling stone would be 1,500 Great British pounds.
Okay, what
That's
are you going
a lot
for?
higher than I was going to go
Well,
for.
what are you going to go for?
But they are like, do you know what they're made of?
I believe it's granite.
It is fresh granite.
Is it?
And then they've also got the sensors in there for the handles that we spoke about last
Hey,
episode.
you're giving them extra information after I've answered.
Yeah, I know, but I'm also almost qualifying your
That's
your
yeah.
guess.
Well, that's made me think now it's more expensive. I was going to go cheaper, and now I'll go in the middle, 1,000.
Okay, you
For a
do win this
stone.
round. It is £720 to £750.
Damn it.
What's also crazy, by the way, we're talking about sustainability with frying
stone.
pans. they don't reuse them every Winter Olympics. They get sent back, and these guys go and make ornaments that you can buy on their website. So if you want to buy a real part of a curling stone, you can do. But why they don't reuse them when they're just stone, no idea.
But aren't they branded with like the year of the Olympics?
Surely we just do that as a sticker.
Yeah, it could be.
Anyway, next one. So actually, we had some questions about this. Your favorite race shoe. Do you want to answer that very quickly so I can?
Streakfly.
The Nike Streakfly 2, is it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so officially on the Nike website, how much is a Nike Streakfly 2? Charles, you're up first.
He doesn't have to buy his. Of course he's not going to know. The Streakfly.
On the official website.
They're carbons, yeah?
At the time of writing.
At the time of recording. Yeah.
Recording.
I'm going to go... It's got to be between like 195 and 220. Let's just split the 200.
Okay.
£109.99.
Charlie's gone low. See, I got mine from the official Nike store before Christmas for £99.99, which is an unreal deal. Well done, Nike. However, the current price on the Nike store is $164.99 in very rare colorways. So Charles actually does win. However, if you are really interested and you've been wanting to try some of Charlie's shoes out, I will let you know there are alternative places you can get them for a lot cheaper in more normal colors. The next question.
That's tough for the program.
The next question, and I will also preface.
I thought they were still on discount.
Charlie is obviously a Nike athlete, but the next question I have got is, how much is a pair of HYROX grip socks?
Oh no! Wait, he has to go first.
You have to go first and guess.
£14.99.
£14.99.
That's it. I was going to say like 15 quid.
Well, it's great because they sponsor your stuff. They are exactly £15. However, if you want to get yourself some HYROX grip socks, you can save 15% using code MindSets15.
See, I applied the MindSets discount code, so technically I should win that.
There you go, £12.75.
And save 1p.
Charlie takes the win because everyone listening to this will be using that to get their grip socks for HYROX.
You can have the point for that. Even though I was their first ever ambassador. Fun fact.
There we go.
I was HYROX first ever ambassador.
Wow.
How did we get here? That's crazy.
How?
We're on...
Way back in 2024.
Wow,
Well,
that would have been when he was on with us the first time.
If it's a HYROX journey is anything to go by, then
big things for the podcast. You guys might as well buy in now. Okay, so the next thing, F1 tire. One singular F1 tire.
I'm first, aren't I?
You are first.
We've spoken about this before, and you said some stupid number that I didn't believe. Based off what a normal...
A Pirelli tire, by the way.
A P1. Is it?
No. It's just a Pirelli.
Oh, maybe that's what's on my
That's
bike.
a bike.
We're going to say that's on my
Yeah.
bike. If they're anything to go by, these tires are expensive. I'm going to say like 500 quid.
500 quid.
I'll go with £501.
Play the game.
Charlie takes the win. It is £2,000 per tire, which means every time they stop, it's $8,000 on tires alone.
So yeah, you did say something like that before, and I didn't believe it.
It's insane.
Still don't
That's
believe
really
it.
expensive.
That's terrible.
I don't know if you guys will know what this means. An NFL Riddell Speedflex helmet if you buy it in the UK.
Oh, I've got several Real Speedflex
This is the helmet I used to wear when I
fiber
played.
helmets.
Really?
This is a very common
Charlie's got
helmet
to
in the
go
league.
first.
Charlie,
Me
you
first.
are first.
I know the Riddell.
I'm going to go with £149.
There's nuance because like a quarterback has like comm systems. in
I'm
their
not going
helmets.
with that. I'm going if
This
you
is
wanted to buy the helmet for yourself.
Does it vary dependent on head size?
No.
If you've got a massive head, it's way more expensive. And like no accessory visors. Or
No. Just you get the helmet and the face cage. As
It's
standard.
got to be more expensive than that. I'm going to go like, I'll be like 300 quid.
Okay, it is $499.99.
500 quid.
It made me a very broke student.
Yeah.
But like I would have had concussion if I paid what Charlie
Yeah.
paid. So it's worth it. Protect your head. The next one I have got is, and I couldn't find many of these online. So if you play polo, you can rinse me for using this website. And a meter is the name of the brand. 50 to 54 inch polo mallet. How much are we saying? You're up first.
Oh God. I feel like even if it was cheap, because it's polo, it's going to be more expensive. I'm going to say for a polo mallet, I'm going to go in hot with like again, 300 quid. Let's just go 300 quid.
Based on that helmet one, it's got to be 400 or more.
Oh, interesting. Charles, you take the win there. It's £115.
But so you're throwing an egg around a field and you're smacking a ball on a horse, probably around some luxury estate, and the equipment's cheaper.
Cheaper, yeah. But you do have to buy the horse.
Well, they've all got their tax in different countries, so like they don't have much money on them at the time, so they just spend what they have.
I'm not doing very well at this.
There's a chance. You are, yeah, pretty much. I think there's one that you took the win.
One, yeah.
Okay, the next one, a ZX5 Zamboni. That is what they use to clean the ice hockey pitches.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I remember that from like a Disney movie I watched when I was a kid.
Oh, what? So it's like the ice polisher?
The truck thing they drive around. How much is one of those? ZX5, by the way, is the latest model that's coming out. The price is speculative, but
5K?
Oh, I'm going at least 10 grand.
$150,000. I didn't convert that one, but just so you're aware, this one's a lithium-ion battery, 760-litre water tank, 200 by 100 foot.
Oh, it's got all the bells and
that
whistles.
it can cover. Oh,
what's the 0 to 60 time?
It's a beauty. I actually have that written down. It is never. It never makes it there.
If you drop it from a plane,
Yeah.
That's
do better research next time.
Sorry.
That's always how when people ask what's your car's 0 to 60, I just reference if I dropped it from a plane.
Okay, I'm gonna get
Which is what?
I probably like 2 seconds. rather than 13 and a half.
I'm gonna get really, really niche here. So I originally thought an Olympic archery bow.
Ooh.
But then upon trying to find the price of those, I found that you pretty much have to build one out. So I've gone for the recurve limbs, which is like the top and the bottom part. How much do you think I'm going to quote here, a win and win we are with NSG2 wood recurve limb
They are the best.
set would cost? Speaking
Do you know what's really embarrassing now? One of my clients at the gym does archery, and he told me about building your own bow and told me how much his cost.
Okay.
And now I can't remember, because you have to build in weights, and you've obviously got different poundage of bow and like different curve shapes. But
Charlie's got to go first.
Oh, I'm going to stop talking. Yeah. But you said wood.
Yeah. These ones are made of wood, but it is for So
it's
surely not. It's surely carbon fiber.
It's gonna be like £2,000 at least.
See, I was going to say 2K as well, so I'm going to say £2,001.
Oh, you went the wrong way, Charlie. You take the win. £998.98 for those recurve limbs alone.
Bargain.
You still got to buy it. You still got to build it yourself. Next thing coming up: wheelchair basketball wheelchair. You can get this in Decathlon apparently.
And it's me up first.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I'm assuming they must be some parts of it fiberglass or like carbon fiber.
I'm talking specifically about Decathlon one.
I'm going to go for $3,000.
Okay.
On a very quick side note, have you seen Lidl are releasing carbon fiber running shoes?
Yes.
I saw that this morning, yeah.
I don't know why.
I know a person. I'll sort you a pair.
Perfect.
He's not allowed to.
No. I'll sort him a pair to look at.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to go £755.
£2,799.99.
Damn it.
Charles, you take the win.
Crazy expensive, isn't it?
Crazy expensive. We've got 4 more, so we're going to get through them.
Decathlon, it might be cheaper.
Yeah, so did I. When it came up, I was like, that's quite a lot of money.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fencing clothing. This hasn't got the sensors in it. This is just like, it's called, I've not written it down. It was a fancy name.
£275. I'm not sure it's me first, but I'm going to go first.
I think it was you first.
Okay.
I don't want to admit that I used to do fencing.
I don't know what to do with the information you just said.
Take it as you will. I'm going to say like 150 quid.
Charlie takes the win, £195 from Excalibur Sports.
What did you say?
No, he takes.
You said 200, didn't you?
275.
Oh, okay.
Maths
Sorry.
over here, co-host.
Sorry.
I should have just let Angus. Yeah.
No, I wasn't having that.
Last two. A baseball plate specifically from Pro Baseball Shop. There's definitely cheaper options out there because you could buy one that's made of paper, but like we're talking about one which you could like
it's
line
me
up in a good
first.
Yeah,
I have no idea what they're even made of. They look like
this is a
ceramic
home
or something.
plate, by the way.
300 quid.
£100.
1 penny off, mate. £99.99.
See,
You know your baseball.
I know my baseball
Okay,
plays.
the second to last one, I'm moving to second to last because it is partially political. How much does an F-15 fighter jet cost?
Oh, you're up.
£50 million.
The guys, I was going to guess exactly the same. So I'm going to up it. Might as well just say like 75 million.
£67 million or $90 million. So every time you see one of those go down because of governments being silly, that's why you can't buy a house.
£67 million.
£67 million for one.
So working that out realistically, it's like Dominic Solanke is the same as a
Yeah.
F-50 fighter jet.
Yeah.
Wicked.
But there aren't like hundreds of Dominic Solankes flying around the world at the moment, as far as I'm aware anyway. Now, this one's going to be a complete tangent as a question, but it is a great question. Charlie is a big fan and a big reviewer of a chicken balti pie at football stadiums. He's actually got an entire list ranking them. We might save that for the next episode or talk about it another time. However, what I want to know is how much is a chicken balti pie at Wrexham Football Club from the Pied Piper? I will also caveat that this isn't currently on their menu, but all their pies are the same price.
It's my turn, right? A football pie.
Football pie,
I
chicken
feel like they're
balti.
overpriced in a stadium. So I don't know how much I'd pay for a pie normally. I'm not a big pie guy. I'm going to say $3.50.
$3.50.
£4.49.
Charlie, you take the win. It's £4.05.
I thought it might be £4. That's why I went for £4.49.
Nice.
Very, very nice. Well,
yeah, solid.
I'm not even sure what the scores are. I've probably put them on the screen. But that's the conclusion of that game.
8-4 to you.
I never
See?
beat anyone.
Competitive, keeping track.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's why I guesstimate.
The benefit for Charlie in this one, and for you guys at home if you didn't do better than either of them, is this, as I've said, is part 1 of 2 episodes. So we will be doing a different game, which you might be able to take these guys on at. I think I'm going to be playing it next time. So we'll get into that. But that sort of rounds off episode 1 of this little 2-part series. Charlie, have you got anything to say before we let them go for a week before they can come back for the next one?
I hope that Glasgow and London went well for me. And if you're racing in it, I hope it went well for you.
What a guy. If you want to find Charlie on any socials, you can find him at
Charlie.Botterill.
There we go. And if you want to find us, please do drop us a follow, drop us a subscribe at MindSets_podcast. You'll find everything there. Like I said, if you want to get involved with the Grind My Gears, or if you've got topics you want us to talk about with other guests, or just between myself and Charles, do send them in. We read all of those messages and we appreciate every single one. So unless there's anything else from you, Charles?
Don't think so.
Look forward to seeing you all in the next episode.